Hi guys, welcome back to Prayer and Penguins, and today we are setting up my 2024 bullet journal. So these are the bullet journals that I use. This is my 2023 bullet journal that I've just finished. I will be doing a flip through of this kind of at the end of the year, beginning of next year, so make sure you're subscribed if you want to see that kind of all filled in. But today we're going to be setting up my new bullet journal. So this is the bullet journal that I've been using for the last 5, 6, 7? Can't remember exactly how many years, but ever since I've started using a bullet journal, I've been using these Dingbats A5 dotted notebooks. In terms of what resources I use to set up this bullet journal, I do keep it fairly simple. I've got trusty pencil for sketching things out. I use a Muji black gel pen in 0.5 for most of kind of the lines and writing. I use these W.H. Smith brush pens that are kind of double-ended. You've got a brush pen and then kind of a fine tip end. And then just standard Crayola super tips in various different colours. And you'll see kind of the colour scheme as we go through. And to be honest, talking of colour scheme, I had zero plans in terms of colour scheme for this year. I had no idea what I wanted to do until I did this first spread and did this kind of coloured background and decided I just really liked this bunch of colours, and that has basically been the colour theme throughout the rest of the setup because I just really appreciated what it looked like. So this is my very first spread. This is my prayer for 2024. So this is where I will stick in my prayer for 2024. I don't have that yet because I'm going to do a whole video all about how to write a prayer for the year and doing it along with you. So once I've done that, I will add that in here and keep that safe somewhere that I can turn back to it all the time and pray throughout the year. The next spread we have is my 2024 in colour. So this is a spread I do a lot, but normally I have always done it as moods and tracked different moods on each day. But I am getting to the point where I'm not really using my bullet journal daily all the time, or at least not so much filling in these beginning spreads every single day. I kind of just do them as and when I'm able to come back to them. And that was just meaning I was forgetting what my moods were on different days and not filling it in, and then I'd kind of get halfway through the year and then there'd be a big blank space at the end. So for this year I thought I would do something a bit different, and I'm going to track my steps. So these are different colours depending on how many steps I do that day. And the beauty of this is my Garmin, the watch I use that tells me how many steps I've done, obviously stores that information. So even if I don't do it on the day, I can come back in and fill it in after the fact, which is going to be very handy. So I've got these different colours for the different steps, and then I've also included 5 different symbols that I can draw over the top of those colours to mark when I've done different types of exercise. So I've got swim, run, orienteering, hike and cycle. So if I do any of those things, I can add that in and we'll maybe see what that looks like when I'm most active throughout the year. Next up we have my future log. Again, this is a spread that I always used to put in lots of things, and I use it a bit less now, but I do use it to save people's birthdays and write those down so I can know when I need to organise presents and cards and that kind of thing, and then just big events that I need to remember throughout the year. So I've kept this super simple this year and just done the name of each month along the page to give myself a bit of space for each month, and it's literally just that simple. As we turn the page, this next spread is my 2024 goals. There will be a whole video coming up all about my 2024 goals, going into more detail about what all of this means. So this is a bit of a sneak preview, but this is where I like to keep all of the goals that I'm going to be tracking. So I've got a bit of a mix of some things are just things that I need to remember, and I'm not really tracking, I don't have anything to write down about them. Whereas the other boxes all have space for me to write down as I'm doing those goals. So for example, we've got 24 blog posts over here, and then down here I will write all of the blog posts that I do to track as I'm getting to 24. Another part of my goals this year, as in the last few years, is my 24 in 2024 challenge. So this year I'm doing it a bit different. I'm going to have 12 like fun activities that I want to do throughout the year, whether that's kind of go to the beach, have a barbecue, go to a farm, go to a zoo, that kind of thing. Really kind of simple but fun things that I want to do throughout the year over here. And then these are going to be kind of mini goals, but rather than kind of things that I need to track like the goals on the previous page, these are all going to be things that are just kind of one and done. I've either done it or I've not done it. So whether it's a number of subscribers that I want to reach or baking a cake, that could be something that's on here. And it's just a goal, something that I want to do at some point throughout the year, but I don't need to track it like my other goals. As we turn over the page, we've got my 24/24s in 2024. And as you can see, I do really enjoy these almost like gamified goals, these tracking systems, these different ways of doing things. I just find these really fun. I find them a really visual and helpful way to track different things that I want to look at in my year. And I just find them so interesting to look back on at the end of the year as well. So this was an idea that I got from Jasha Corin and I did for the first time last year. But basically you choose 24 things that you want to do 24 times throughout the year. So this year that's things that you want to do twice per month basically. So I've got my list of things here that I want to do 24 times. Again, you're getting a bit of a sneak peek as to what's going to be in my goals video in a couple of weeks. So there's 24 different things that I want to track here, and then 9 of them I've given space for me to write down what those things are. So for example, films, I can write down what the 24 films are that I watch. So we've got a couple of pages for that. And then we come on to my prayer and Bible reading spreads. These look very similar to last year if you saw my last year's bullet journal set up. So here we have my prayer board, and I really love this way of kind of keeping my prayers in one place in my bullet journal. I just have these 8 different boxes for different themes, and I can note down my prayers for each of them in these boxes, and then I can keep coming back and seeing what those prayers are, seeing if those prayers have been answered, and just reminding me of things that I want to pray for. So the boxes that I have are me, one for my husband, one for Georgia, my daughter, and then one for family, friends, community, country, and world. And then over here we have my Bible reading spread, and this is just a grid with all of the different books of the Bible, and then if I read that book, I colour over it, and we'll see how many books of the Bible I managed to read in this year. My next bullet journal spread is my scriptures to read when you feel ... And this is a spread that I came up with last year and wanted to bring back for this year. And I've got all these different boxes with different moods, different kind of times. And I know that I can turn to this spread and find the scriptures that I need to read when I feel that way. So if I feel confused or if I feel like giving up, I can come back here and find the scriptures that I need to read. And the reason I haven't filled this in yet is because I'm going to do a whole video in the new year where I fill this in and talk through the different scriptures that you should read when you feel these different emotions. So again, make sure you're subscribed to our channel to see that video when it comes out, and you can find out more about all those different scriptures. Next we come on to our books and reading section of our bullet journal, and we're starting here with our reading tracker. So this is a super simple spread. We just write down the book and the author and then the rating that we give to that book. And then by the end of the year we'll have a whole spread of all the books that we've read throughout the year and the ratings we've given them. Carrying on with our reading spreads, the next couple we have are my Around the World tracker, and this is where I track the setting and also where the author is from for all of the books that I read. So I've got different continents here listed for where the author is from, and then also the continents as well as fantastical and none for where the book is set. And then I just add a little dot for each book in the correct columns, and we get a nice little bar chart. And then this spread over here is a new one for this year, and I wanted to track a few more kind of bookish stats. So we've got a few different things down here, and again, each time I read a book I will add in dots in the correct rows, and we'll see what this looks like at the end of the year. So we've got physical, ebook and audiobook, so how I read a book. And then genres, we've got mystery, thriller, romance, fantasy, sci-fi, historical, contemporary, Christian, classic, literary, autobiography or biography, and other. Then we've got spaces for translated books, if it's a 5-star or a 4.5 star, so looking at my top rated books, as well as novella, short stories and non-fiction books. And I think this will just be really interesting to see at the end of the year what this looks like and kind of the different kinds of books that I'm reading. This next spread is something I'm very excited for, and this is my Books and Bibles Reading Challenge spread. So if you haven't seen our announcement, we are running a reading challenge for 2024, and as I said, it's the Books and Bibles Reading Challenge. So we have these different characters of the Bible, and we need to both read their story in the Bible as well as choosing a book based on a prompt that is based on that character. I'll link the announcement video down in the description, so do check that out if you'd like to find out more. But this is the spread that I've put together to track my reading for that challenge. So each little blob, each bubble has the name of the person, the Bible passage that I need to read, as well as the prompt. and then space for me to fill in what book I choose for that, and then I can tick it off once I'm done. This one here is my final bookish spread, and this is my 30 before 30 challenge. So this is copied straight from last year's bullet journal, because obviously I'm still working towards this challenge and I still want to kind of tick off as I'm going through. Some of these books I have started or am partway through the series, that kind of thing, but I don't think there's any that I can actually fully tick off yet, so hopefully we'll tick off a few more this year. But again, I have a whole video talking through all of the books I want to read before I turn 30, which I will link down in the description as well. And then over here we have my wish list. So this is obviously a space for me to write down all the things that I want or that I need to get at some point, that I can either ask for as gifts or to make note of things that I want to get if there is a sale or if I have a voucher, or those kind of things I can keep here. And then these two spreads are very kind of plain looking, but I find them really helpful. So this first one is my gift card tracker, so I can write down any gift cards that I have, how much I have to spend, things that I'm thinking of buying or what I want to use those gift cards for, and then when they expire. So this really helps me just keep track of what I need to use and when they're going to run out, to make sure I don't let them run out. And then this spread over here is my running tracker. So I've added an extra column in this year. So we have date, distance, time, where or what, in terms of kind of what was the run, was it a park run, where was it, all of that kind of information, as well as any notes. So was it snowing, was it a personal best, anything like that will go in notes. And this just helps me kind of have a look at how I'm doing with my running, when I'm running, and just kind of keep track of it and motivate me. And those are all of the spreads in my 2024 bullet journal. Let's do a final flick through and you can see all of the spreads again. So that is my complete 2024 bullet journal. I'm really pleased with how this has turned out, how all these spreads have come together, and I did really end up loving this colour scheme that I used of kind of really light blues, purples and greens. I think it's come together really nicely, and I'm really looking forward to getting started using this in 2024. I'd love to hear what spread is your favourite spread in this setup, and what spreads are you using in your bullet journal too. As I said, do make sure you're subscribed if you want to see kind of the final touches to a couple of these spreads and a bit more about how I use them. But we really hope you found this video helpful and maybe gave you some ideas for your bullet journal. If you did, please do give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more videos from me and Arnold. We create videos every Saturday all about prayer, exploring the Bible and living out your faith, as well as planning and bookish content. If you'd like to see some more bullet journal content from me, I will link some videos down in the description. Or if you'd like to see my end of year goals for this year, then do check out this video right here. And we will see you very soon for a new video. Bye!